brought to you almost live from the Dude in the Basement Studios. Why? Because that's where the good stuff is. It's Sips, Suds, and Smokes with your smoking host, the good old boys. Suds, Suds, Suds. It's time for more Suds.
Well, hello, everyone, and welcome to our show where everything good in life is worth talking about. I'm one of your able hosts here, good old gal Julieanna, and with me at the table today is, first of all, good old boy Dave.
Hey, everybody.
That was very quick, sir.
Hey, everybody.
Okay, fine, whatever. Also with me, which I'm really excited about, is good old boy Jason.
Oh, hello, everyone.
Yay! And last, but certainly not least, is our latest addition. His name is Jason, too, but we're going to call him good old boy Sparky.
But don't hold that against me.
We won't. So, our SUD segments are all about beer, and yet more beer. Well, except for today, because today it's all about cider, and yet more cider.
So today's show is about style. And I know what you're all thinking. Who better to talk about style than good old boy Dave, right?
I'm pretty sure no one was thinking that. Jason? Sparky,
no, not at all.
Not so much.
Well, you all suck. So, and you have no style. So anyways, the styles we'll be talking about today are all about styles of hard cider. And if you thought cider was all the same...
You are so dumb. You are really dumb. For real.
We're going to talk about some different types of cider and taste some examples of each. Good old boy Jason here makes some excellent ciders of his own and probably knows more about cider than any other person in the entire United States.
That's not true.
The state of Tennessee?
Probably not.
Well, at least you know more about cider than anybody at this table.
No, hell yeah. I'm like Johnny Freakin Appleseed compared to you guys.
All right, then. So, while Johnny Freakin Applesauce gets us ready for us for the cider school, good old boy Dave gets the honor of going over our SUDS ratings today.
We'll be rating and discussing these ciders and rating them along with these SUDS ratings and our signature belching sounds. Here are those ratings now. Number 1, that sucks. Give me anything but an angry orchard. Number 2, was that a belch? Number 3, ah, what a relief. Number 4, a body should really not make that sound. And number 5, listen to that hang time. Give me another cider.
Well, thank you very much there, good old boy Dave.
I had to clear that out.
Yeah, really. Okay, so just to lay down a foundation, let's start off with just what cider is. So according to Wikipedia, which is, well, we all know it's the source of all knowledge in the universe, cider, known as hard cider in North America, is an alcoholic beverage made from the fermented juices of apples. So, the juice of any variety of apple can be used to make cider, but the cider apples are the best. The addition of sugar or extra fruit before a second fermentation increases the alcoholic content of the resulting beverage. Cider is very popular in the UK, especially in the West Country, and widely available. The UK has the world's largest per capita consumption, as well as its largest cider-producing companies. Cider is also popular in other European countries. In UK law, it must contain at least 35% apple juice, fresh or from concentrate, although CAMRA says that real cider must be at least 90% fresh apple juice. In the US, there's a 50% minimum. And in France, cider must be made solely from apples. So, good old boy Jason, what's the first type of cider we're going to discuss today?
So real quick, though, let's just make a point that today we're not going to be going by any BJCP, which is the Beer Judge Certification Program, categories of cider. What we're going to talk about today is just in more general terms what styles of cider are available commercially.
So let's start with the basics. Traditional hard cider. This is cider in its purest form. There's nothing added to or really taken away from the cider. It's just apple, or in the case of a pear cider, pear juice. We don't have any Perrys with us today, but we're gonna knock out 2 of the traditional ciders in our tastings. You can add other things in these other styles, but here you should feature the flavor of the apple, the varietal of the apple, or the blend of varietals in the apple. You can have a range from very dry to almost syrupy sweet, dessert-like. Although you'll find most of the commercial examples are going to fall in that semi-dry to semi-sweet range. So the first one that we have today is from Tandem Ciders, and it's called Smackintosh. The first of the season, made from Mackintosh, Rhode Island greening, and Northern Spy. Sweet Mackintosh or Sweet Mackie with rich golden hue. This cider is fresh fruit. The Mackintosh and greenings are from some 75-year-old trees on Old Mission. The Spy are from a few miles up the road. Several growers from this one, the Schultz Orchard and the Kolerick brothers. I believe this one is from northern Michigan, if I'm not mistaken. Mm-hmm. So this one, again, all apple. It's 3 varietals. To me, this one, I don't know, it was a little sweet for my taste. Candy apple sweet aroma, semi-sweet to sweet taste, a slightly grainy mouthfeel at times, but I got mostly Mackintosh out of this. I think the other 2 varietals were a little bit lost. Kind of struck me as just table apples. There wasn't a lot of tart character from the apples. There wasn't enough acidity for my taste. It was a little too sweet. So
cool. How would you rate this beer or cider?
I believe my rating on this one's that's about a 3.
Number 3.
What a relief.
Very cool. So for me, I'm kind of in the same vein. I don't know all the fancy apple names and stuff. I just thought it was kind of sweet and everything. I would agree with you. I probably would just give it a 3.
Again, what a relief. And I sort of echo the same thing. It was a little sweet for me, but for some people that want a sweeter cider, then this might be perfect for you. It was very apple-y tasting, which was really nice too, and not a lot of otherness to it. I gave this one a 3 as well.
Relief.
And I'd have to echo what you guys said, and just the sweet washed away everything. And I'm a jerk. I'm going to give it a 2 just because it was just too much sugar. Kind of wiped away all the characters.
Ah, that's fine. Was that a belch? Might have been a belch.
Maybe.
Not sure.
Might want to check afterwards.
Good old boy, Jason. What's the next one?
Well, I was going to one more comment on the tandem. One of the things about traditional ciders is you have to be careful. A lot of times your fermentation can strip away a lot of your apple flavor and character. Sometimes you can get around that by sweetening or back sweetening, and I think maybe they did that there. All right, our next one on the list is Blake's Beard Bender. It's a 100% natural hard cider. It's nothing added to the true characteristic of the apple. Not for the faint of heart, they say. Beard Bender packs a punch and is not expected from hard cider.
And do you feel that it has bent your beard?
You know, I've got a pretty good beard going, and it did blow it back a little bit. There's a little curl there at the ends now. So it's tart, crisp, amazingly drinkable, and all grown in Blake Farms, Armanda, Michigan. So again, northern Michigan. My tasting notes on this one: slightly sour nose, crisp. Really good. This is my example of a good traditional cider. This one hit the mark for me. I give it a 4, solid 4.
How
body should really not make that sound. Wow.
Very cool. So I'm just going to copy the smart guy. I found this one to be a more complete cider. You got more of the tart that balanced out some of that sweetness, and I felt like it was almost a little too tart for me, and it was very dry, but I still enjoyed it. I would give this one a 3.
What a relief. Well, for me, I really like this. I thought this was a lot more balanced than the Smackintosh. Really good apple flavor, though, and to me, this is what I would expect out of a typical cider. And I gave this puppy a 4 as well.
Body should really not make that sound.
And for me, I really enjoyed this. I almost got like a note of champagne, especially when it was still cold. I'd like to make some cocktails with this. It really was clean, and it smelled of honey when I first poured it. And then, yeah, just fantastic. Give it a 4.
Cool.
Body should really not make that sound.
Well, we're going to take a brief break, and we'll be right back with some more ciders.
The Lord is good to me, and so I thank the Lord for giving me the things I need, the sun and rain and an apple seed. Yes, He's been good to me. I owe the Lord so much for everything I see. I'm certain if it weren't for Him, there'd be no apples on this limb. He's been good to me. Oh,
Welcome back to our discussion about ciders. Good boy, Jason. What's our next cider to talk about?
All right, next style up, we're going to try a couple of fruited ciders. Pretty basic style. Again, you're dealing with primarily apples. It is still a cider after all. But this time we're adding some fruit, popular fruits or berries and things of that nature. You get a few people do some citrus and things of that nature, but berries are really one of the most common. So our first fruited cider coming up here is Star Cut, and their cider is Squishy. And Squishy is a semi-sweet cider made with Michigan cherries. It is ruby red in color, appealing sweet and sugary aromatics. Cider's initial flavors of dark fruit shift towards a bold tartness that dries the palate between tastes. So my tasty notes on this one, really nice ruby color. It's a pretty beautiful cider, but mostly cherry. I got cherry in the aroma, cherry in the flavor. I honestly thought the cherry kind of overpowered the apple character of this cider, and it should have some apple character left. So that was my knock on it. Flavors were good, but I gave it a 3.
What a relief.
So I'm kind of going to break away. I know you are the master and I'm just the little Padawan as far as ciders go, but I think the cherry complemented the apple pretty well. I felt like they were sort of balanced. The tart of the cherry did kind of give away to the sweetness of the apple at the very end, I felt. And I really love the flavor of cherries. I thought this was a really cool cider, and I'm glad we hopefully have an extra bottle of it that I will not share with anyone. So, having said that, I am going to give Star Cut Squishy a 4.
Wow. A body should really not make that sound. For me, I liked it, but it was a little too cherry for me. I mean, if you're a cherry lover, like some of us in this room might be, then you will find it rather extraordinary. It just was a little cherry sweet for me. And I couldn't get any apple in the background. Anyways, I gave this puppy a 3. Oh, what a relief. Sparky?
Well, I'm just going to go and say it. I'm a cherry slut. Bring on the cherry. If there's a way to throw out the apple in this, I would have found it and done it. But Michigan cherries are generally tartar than anything else out there, which is fine in my book. And I might actually end up using this for aftershave at some point in the future. I give it a 4.
The body should really not make that sound.
Wow. Okay. What's next, Cider Man?
Our next one up is the Sea Cider Bramble Buddy. And this one is, I believe Sea Cider is from just across the border, Pacific Northwest in British Columbia. And it is a apple and blackberry cider. So we're going to get lots of berry character in this one. The blackberries add a touch of bittersweetness to the apple cider and makes for a deliciously sinful, semi-dry, sparkling rosé.
Whoa.
Ooh.
That was fancy.
Yeah, a little rosé action here.
Putting on airs.
This one is an absolute, my notes on this, beautiful garnet color, just an absolutely beautiful color. Some light sweetness from the fruit, a fruity sweetness, not a sugar sweetness. The alcohol in it, though, is fairly dry and crisp. Semi-dry finish, nice light berry, that berry tartness. And I thought in this one it actually did have plenty of apple character, and the berry complemented that apple. So I gave this one a 4, one of my favorites.
Body should really not make that sound.
So I like this one a lot. I think I didn't like it as much as Squishy. Maybe I got tangled up in the brambles or something. But the flavor seemed a little muddled in the beginning to me, but I did enjoy it. So I think I would give this one a 3.
Oh, what a relief. And that was a relief. Well, for me, my take's on the Sea Cider Bramble Bubbly, which I think is a really cool name in itself. I love this one. This is like... It's really good, really good. The blackberries are just so pure. I feel like I'm in a vineyard just, grabbing them one by one. And I just thought it had really nice balance. And, of course, and the color is just absolutely stunning. Not that the cider should really, you should care about a stunning color. But anyways, it just adds to it. And I'm giving this puppy a 4.
We should really not make that sound.
Well, Julie, I'm actually really colorblind, and I don't mean that. I have no idea. So thank you for identifying those. But to me,
wow,
yeah, it's a sad life. Sad womp womp. But this to me was like a cocktail in a bottle. I could see this. It almost reminded me of like a sea breeze cocktail, if you've ever had that before. But solid all the way around, not too sweet. I give it a 3 overall.
What a relief.
Okay, next up.
Next, we've got some spiced ciders, and this would kind of fall into that the old BJCP spice, herb, and vegetable category, I guess you could say.
It? Apple cinnamon flavored monkey gland energy shake.
Or that.
Yeah, you're going to see all your common spices here. Cinnamon is probably the most common you'll find. I've seen chai spice. I've seen a variety of different peppers used, and it'll cover a fairly wide range.
How about garlic? Any garlic ciders out there?
I have not personally had one, but I have heard that somebody used a black garlic in a cider.
Really?
Yes.
Well, those are sweeter, though, aren't they, I think, than the others?
It's got it's got kind of a funky, deeper, caramelized character, I think, to the...
You're still not going to get a kiss afterwards.
No, not at all.
No.
With that ending, exactly. All right, Dave, why don't you introduce these next ones?
Oh, okay. Well, the first one is from Left Foot Charley. It's called Cinnamon Girl. We chose the something Sumatran. I can't say the first word, so I'm just saying something. Sumatran cinnamon for this cider. It is a stronger, more spicy, and textural than, I can't say that word either, normal cider. Or cinnamon. So the bark of this shrub was aged in the cider to import the gentle spice and warmth you know so well. A touch of sweetness balances the flavor, and the bubbles just make it fun. Don't bubbles always make stuff more fun, though?
It was almost like you were reading erotic poetry. I thought that was...
Did you?
You did a really good job with that.
I saw both of your hands were under the table. while I was reading.
This is a judgment-free zone, so I need you
It's
guys...
a safe place.
Just look
It's a
away.
safe place.
Look away, please.
Okay, so
Yay.
Dave, what did you think of this fun, bubbly cider?
I don't know what to think now. Things have taken a dark turn on the old podcast here. So no, but I loved this cider. I thought it was great. I thought it tasted like the holidays to me. It took me back a little bit to the fall. Cinnamon. The cinnamon to me was really good, and I love cinnamon and apples. I mean, who doesn't? That's a great classic kind of combination. And I felt like they did a pretty good job balancing it and everything. It was good flavor. And the bubbles, yeah, they just made it fun. So for Left Foot Charlie's Cinnamon Girl, I would give this a 4.
Ooh, the body should really not make that sound. Me, I flippin' love this thing. Just in case there was, any doubt, this really was like one of my favorites. It reminded me of fall. The cinnamon was not that like baking, in an apple pie cinnamon taste. Like I could see why they're saying that this is a stronger, more spicy version. And to me, up until this point, I thought cinnamon was cinnamon, but heck no. That being said, it was just very quaffable. And I think everyone needs to try this at least once in their life. It's really, really good. And I gave this puppy a 4.
Body should really not make that sound.
I may have had some bad experiences on a date with some drinking too much woodchuck or Angry Orchard cinnamon stuff, but this gave me flashbacks to drinking way too much something, and then maybe I took advantage of myself. I don't know what happened afterwards, but I think at the end of the day, while it smelled like a wonderful apple pie, when I tasted it, it gave me flashbacks to that, and I'm going to have to go with a 2 and judgment-free table. I'm sorry.
Was that a belch?
Failed you all.
Sparky slams the Left Foot Charlie. All right.
Too much of an overshare.
I'm really sort of disappointed in him now. It's not sure I trust his
There's
palate.
still plenty more time to be disappointed in me. Don't start judging now. Wait
all
till
the
later.
self-abuse, and now he doesn't like Left Foot Charlie. Yeah, I know. What's up with this guy?
Yeah, I don't know. Well, I love this as well. I'm a fan. In fact, one of my favorite styles of cider is a cinnamon spiced or fall spice cider. This one smells of fall. It smells like one of those cinnamon stick bouquets that you have in the fall. Beautiful, clear, pale straw cider color with this one. If I had to pick one little knock, one little thing that I thought could have been a slight bit better was the sweetness and spice just a little bit over the edge, just a little bit past that perfect point for me, slightly overpowering the apple. Gave it a 4. Loved it.
A body should really not make that sound.
Noish.
Yes, very nice.
So next we're going to go a little south of the border, and we're going to spice things up. We're going to bring some heat, and we're going to do some other cliche stuff. We're going with Blake's Cider Place El Chavo, where we like spicing things up. That's why we put dimmers on the lights in our cider house. Oh, that's weird. That's gonna.
Don't judge.
It's gonna get.
I like that. There's also a disco ball and some funky music that starts playing.
It's gonna get Sparky going again already. And it's why we created the sweet heated blend of habanero pepper, mango, and our famous Blake's apples. Experience a hard cider that's really, honestly, truly like no other. Experience El Chavo. So,
Sorry,
How are you wearing a sombrero? Where did that come from?
It appeared.
Cha-cha-cha.
It appeared.
so having said all those nice things about it, that I didn't write. No, they are. So El Chavo. I like spicy stuff, and this one smells funky and kind of spicy and kind of weird, which is not a bad thing because that can actually lead you to some good times, as Sparky will tell you. But when I tasted it, I didn't get a lot of heat. There's some residual heat in the back, kind of the back of your throat. That's not bad, but I get a lot of vegetal taste, like maybe they left the peppers sitting in there too long, or something happened. But I really did not think too much of El Chavo. So sorry, all of you south of the border cider fans. I'm going to go with a 2. I like 2.
Santa Maria!
Was that a belch?
Wow.
Maybe.
Was that a belch? I don't know what that was.
We don't know.
That's just shock.
It was silent but deadly.
Yes, it was silent but deadly.
You'll smell it in a minute.
Okay, so for me, Blake's El Chavo was a little different. I was not, I saw that it was habanero peppers, and I saw that there was mango, and I thought, well, this is going to be kind of cool. Like, I think there's beers that have that little combination out there. Sadly, it wasn't brewed like the beers that have that combination. It was, I think maybe for what it is, and if you're having some Mexican food, it might be fine. But I don't know, it was a little too peppery and a little too dank for me, in terms of flavor. And it seemed like the pepper kind of overwhelmed the mango, and I couldn't even find the mango in this little conglomeration. That being said, I'm giving this a 2.
Was that a belch?
Yeah, it was a belch.
So I have joined El Chavo's revolution. I am now... that's where this bandolier came from. I don't know if you guys saw me put that on right before this segment. But no, I thought on the nose it was mysterious, fruity, and funky. And that got me interested. And then once I drank it, I'm a freak for all things spicy, so I like that. I would have liked even more pepper in this bad boy, and as I've had some of it since it's warmed up a little bit, the pepper's even more pronounced. So I like that, but it was a revolution in my mouth. Ooh. I enjoyed it. I was give it a 4, please, sir.
Okay. A body should really not make that sound.
It should not.
It should not.
Well, wrapping things up, I was not really a fan here. This one, first aroma, kind of old moldy gym sock.
And that's a bad thing?
You had me at old moldy gym sock.
It had a very funky aroma. And I thought something must have gotten a hold of this one,
Viva la revolution!
Something got all up in this thing, man.
That was my bandolier, actually.
Oh, my God.
But I'll tell you, on the taste, it actually redeemed itself slightly. That funkiness, that garbage wet sock aroma did not carry through into the taste. In fact, predominantly, I got a big hit of sweetness up front, and I'm like Julieanna. I did not catch much mango in this. The heat was not high. There was a little bit of pepper flavor, a little of that vegetal flavor that good old Dave mentioned. Little prickliness, little tingle in the back of the palate there. I'm giving this one a SUDS rating of 3 just because the flavor redeemed that aroma.
Viva la revolution!
What a relief.
So, smells like garbage, tastes like glory. All right.
Well, we should all be that lucky, I guess. Well, I think so far, though, we've had a good variety, you know. It's none of these is like your typical woodchuck cider that you find at the grocery store.
That puts you in a diabetic coma after, too.
Yeah.
That's a thing.
Well, you know, when you're a teenager, what do you know?
I think most of those, macro brand, we always, on these shows, we always get between micro and macro at the end of the day. And I think some of those macro ciders, a lot of times what you find is kind of what Jason was talking about earlier, is they'll back sweeten, and you end up with like just this sugar shock kind of thing going on here, in a hint of apple.
And out of what we've tried today so far, I'd say the Tandem comes closest to that commercial cider, that macro cider, if you will.
Smackintosh.
The Smackintosh. The again, that sweet, kind of one-sided, more table apple character. We've lost a lot of our good cider apple orchards in this country. We do not have the heritage that the UK has. We have some cells in northern Michigan. We have the Northeast, Maine, Vermont, upstate New York, and a little Pacific Northwest. They've got some good stuff going on in Washington and Oregon. But we've lost a lot of our good cider apples in this country. So a lot of our macros, they're looking for source material, and they're finding our Americanized apples, the sweeter.
Oh, use what you got.
Yep,
kind of thing.
Use what you got. Yep.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we're going to take a quick segment break, and when we come back, we're going to have more discussions on cider and also the state of ciders in the U.S.
It didn't start the way I expected it to.
Well, there's that. Okay.
Everybody polka.
Exactly. Well, ladies and gents, we happen to be talking about ciders today and all things yummy apple-flavored stuff. Good old boy Jason, what is the next style we're going to be talking about?
Our last style for the day is farmhouse ciders, or funky ciders. And this style is... earlier we covered traditional ciders. Well, I should clarify, traditional ciders in terms of modern day traditional, they are just apple. This style, the farmhouse style, this is really old world traditional ciders. This is the way ciders were made centuries ago, when they were very local and honestly before our understanding of microbiology is what it is today. They were getting their yeast from the environment around them. The yeast was from the skins of the apples that they were harvesting. The flavor and character of the cider was very local, very depended on the varietal of apple that they had available to them in the orchard. Actually,
I need to cut in here and stop you before you embarrass yourself. Before we knew about yeast, invisible spirits actually turned the apple juice into alcohol. That's
a thing. It's kind of like the Keebler elves overnight. So it's pretty amazing.
I don't know what you're getting with science and stuff here, but angels put their toe in the apple juice and it turns into cider. So.
You sure it was their toe?
Let's hope so. I think we all need to.
Yes. Let's keep it clean. All right, we want to keep it kind of PG here.
But no, yeah. In all honesty, this is, and it's the same with beer. Beer was very farm and locally oriented as well. They did not pitch large cultivated batches of specific yeasts. They were gathering that yeast from the air and from the building and just their surroundings. So you're going to get a variety of things in this style of cider. You're going to get Brettanomyces, Brett as everybody calls it. You're going to get other wild microbes and bacteria that are fermenting the apple juice here.
Yeah.
You're going to get some Saccharomyces style yeast, which are abundant around us on everything. But like I said, this is coming from the skins of the apple, from the tree, from the ground, etc. So
I think that was something coming from under the ground. That was.
I am so excited about this style of cider that I'm just buzzing.
He's vibrating.
I think that was an angel's body part, actually, is what that was. But everybody be cool.
So I think it's cool too that, that, like, you know, a lot of times people would make, whether it be cider or beer or whatever, what they had on hand, you know, and a lot of people couldn't get barley and they couldn't get hops or anything. But apples, especially like in parts of England and then later on in the New England area in the United States, people were planting a lot of apples and growing orchards. And so if you had an abundance of apples, it was more than you could eat. Then you made cider, and the cider would last longer than the apples would, and were, you know, just through the process of boiling the water, it could be safer to drink than water, and it was more sustainable as far as storage than just trying to keep apples around.
Oh, definitely, it's a preservation of the agriculture, the produce that they had available to them. And in many cases, you can fresh press cider juice. We call it, sweet cider, unfermented cider. You can fresh press that. You can drink that as it is. But if you let that sit too long, if you don't do modern day techniques of pasteurization and things, you will get your very own fermented hard cider just from that wild natural yeast on the fruit. And that's what this style is all about. And it parallels what's going on in the beer world right now. It parallels what's going on in the natural old world cheese making, the food world, charcuterie and cheese making. Just getting back to those traditional methods.
Sounds good. Well, Sparky, do you mind introducing these two beers for us? Ciders for us.
Yes, not at all. Here's hoping that I don't butcher it too badly. So, first up, we've got Ipparragirre's Sagardoa Sidra Natural.
Would you call me?
Them's fighting words in some parts of the world. Certainly here. So I think this description might fail English, so don't judge me too badly. So, our cider has been recognized for its quality and personality, a result of the experiences the family have been passed by combining existing knowledge and means to get a natural drink with the best selection of apples, valuing especially the indigenous. Ipparragirre committed their own apple production. Wow, English is getting tough on this one. Mixing in their fields from the old apple trees with new ones. In fact, the variety known as Moco, one of the best apple cider from our apple trees planted grafts at the time by our uncle Miguel Biobide, and originally named Erotan Sagara, is a testament to the quality of thereof. Currently, we sell our product in bottles all the year, in season from late January to April, in barrels which so require. Wow.
That's Google Translate for you, folks.
Yes.
Thank you, Google Translate.
So I have to confess, I found that page and it was all in Spanish, and I was like, well, we have to say something about it. So
me fail English? That's impossible.
Google Translate. I was counting on our hostess here having to read that but she stuck you with
Thanks for throwing me under the bus. Appreciate that. Thank you. Well, I gotta tell you, this one, I'm a funk freak. Cheeses, meats, and beers, and apparently ciders. I smelled this and I was in love. It was funky. It was wild. I thought it fell out of a gym locker, and that was just fine with me. Really, really low carb on that. I didn't really taste the carbonation quite as much, but it was just tart and wonderful, funky and yeasty. But it wasn't too funky. And then at the very end, I almost got almost a smokiness. It was just kind of at the very end, just kind of a last little parting. And I think you guys caught me a little bit earlier. I was huffing the bottle, and again, hopefully not judging me while I was doing that. But
we took pictures. It'll be on the website.
But I kind of want to go take the bottle and go into a corner with a big block of blue cheese and some funky fermented charcuterie, and then things.
Have a good time.
Some soft music and the proper lighting, and just let to see how things play out. Yeah, that's kind of
a little wild. Yeah.
And this, I got to tell you, by far was my favorite of anything I tried. I know I'm in the minority. I'm going to give it the big old 5 SUDS rating. I've already proposed to it. Yeah, we've already booked our honeymoon in Catalan. We're going to have a good time together.
Rock on, brother. Rock on.
Good old boy Jason, save us.
Yeah, we're gonna have to agree to disagree on this one. I love the funk as much as anybody. Sour beers, funky beers, wild fermentations, Brettanomyces, all good friends of mine. This one didn't do it for me. I got just vinegar on the nose, acetic components on the nose. Fortunately, they did not carry through quite as much in the taste as they were in the aroma, but again, the taste was predominantly acetic to me, and that's one thing I don't tolerate very well in my sour and funky fermented beverages. It just didn't have the depth of character that I was looking for.
I think it sucks.
I think that sucks. I think it sucks.
Yeah, pretty much. That's I kind of
That hurts my heart.
Right in the soul, man. I just took the knife and twisted it a couple of times.
Yeah, this one gets a nice low 2 to me for me.
Was that a belch?
That was a vinegar belch for good old boy Jason. So
I'll take your share if you don't.
Yeah. I find myself somewhere in the middle. I don't want to run away to a sunny tropical beach with it, but then again, I don't hate it either. To me, it was, and I think I had in my notes that it was almost unpleasant to be around, but somehow I love it. I think it's kind of like
me.
Yeah. Well,
very careful.
I wasn't going to go there.
It's a trap.
It's a trap. But I would compare it to like an abusive boyfriend. I know
I think we've all been there.
He hits me, but I know he loves me.
Yeah.
So I just I don't know. There was something about it that I was just like, it was funky, and I found that to be really cool. And I don't think I could drink a lot of this, and I couldn't drink it all the time. And if I was going to introduce people to cider to say, hey, this is something you should try if you've never had cider, I would not start with this one. But as someone who loves funk and just weird stuff, I think I really did enjoy it. And I would give this cider that I can't say its name, I think I would give it a 4.
A body should really not make that sound.
You're invited on our funky garbage honeymoon that we're taking together.
3's a crowd, buddy. 3's a crowd.
So, the Sagardoa Sidra.
Ooh.
Okay.
Listen to that. Maybe I do like it a little more.
When I got this bottle, okay, I was warned when I picked it up, that this is going to be different. You're either going to love it or you're going to hate it. And I thought, well, okay, this is going to be perfect for the show. Okay, I am like Sparky. I am in love with this cider. It's like balsamic vinegar meets the apple, and It's so flippin' beautiful. It is just beautiful. It just reminds me of what true, like, grassroots farmhousey stuff should be. It's not, like, some of the most amazing artisanal cheeses are not going to be the best thing to smell, but yet it goes in your mouth and it's like butter and it's just yummy. This to me is the same way. Yeah, it smells foul. There are socks involved. There might even be straps of some sort.
Wait, what?
What was the rating of this program again?
However, that being said, I really, really enjoy it. And to me, I enjoy it even more as it opens up. And that lack of carbonation, I think, is just fine for it. So I'm sorry, but I'm going to be at Sparky's wedding, and it's all going to be a very good time.
It's beautiful.
Stinky, but fun.
And I give this a 4. Nobody should really not make that sound.
Wow.
Okay.
Straps. I'm still trying to figure out the straps.
We're all over the map.
Later.
All right.
Hide the kids.
Yes.
Could you guys earmuff it for the next 30 seconds?
Maybe hide the adults, too. Anyone with a pacemaker.
All right, fine. Okay, so, Sparky, let's talk about the next one.
All right, the next is Blake's Cider Days, which makes me want to say Cider Days. Sorry, but it's an unrefined farmhouse cider. Oh,
sorry, I had to flag you on that one.
Wow, got shut down hard. An unrefined farmhouse cider is an ode to the ciders of yesteryear. A uniquely crafted blend of bittersweet and bitter-sharp apples fermented to dryness, then back-sweetened with Blake's award-winning sweet cider recipe unchanged since 1946. This cider is sure to take you to the days of cider. Enjoy. So,
Aww.
Yeah, wasn't you like
That was precious.
Good stuff. I'm available for weddings and bar mitzvahs, too.
Apparently stinky, nasty cider weddings.
Whatever.
Which are now legal, apparently. I don't know what that's about, but so when I first smelled this, I think I came to it after the Ipparragirre Sagardoa, but it was something strange and musty. I couldn't quite put my finger on, and so it really,
there.
yeah. Oh my. So when I first smelled it, it really, I was expecting something a lot more funky than what it was. But again, it was a very low carb, almost no alcohol at all when I tasted it. And it was this nice sharp tartness that just went all around my mouth. And then I almost got, I don't think I saw anything in here where it was oak aged, but I swear that I tasted some wood or something from it.
Okay, we're going to cut you off now.
Yeah? Oh man! But I was about to go out elope with this, but yeah, almost it almost gave me the vibe of like a Chardonnay or something like that.
Yeah, I can see that.
That's kind of where I landed on it, but very very good. I give it a 3.
All right, cool. Oh, what a relief.
Good boy, Jason.
Well, I have become a fan of Blake's after today. This, just like the Blake's Beard Bender was my example of a good traditional pure apple cider. This Blake's Cider Days is my example of a nice farmhouse cider.
Okay.
I got some bread. I think that what you're getting in that aroma was the Brettanomyces.
Okay.
A little bit of horse blanket, a little bit of farmyard character. But this one was great to me. This was wild yeast at its best. Complex character, plenty of apple. I gave this one a really good 4.
Nobody should really not make that sound. Good boy, Dave. What do you think?
So, I comparing this one to the whatever the Spanish thing was, this one was definitely way more subdued with the funkiness, but I think that made it very appealing to me. For the reasons that I like the other one are the reasons that, oh God, I don't even know what I'm saying. Anyway, so I like this one a lot too, but because it was more mild and subdued and sweet, and I liked it, enjoyed it. So I'm going to give it a 4.
Yay. Nobody should really not make that sound. And for me, this Blake's was, again, I'm falling in love with this cidery plate. How do I say that?
Cidery.
Cidery. Okay. I'm falling in love with this cidery. It was beautiful, and you can get that the bready sort of dankness and that like old school kind of feel about it. I really love this, and I gave this a 4. A body should really not make that sound. Wow. Well, this was great stuff, everyone, and that's going to wrap it up for today's Suds episode. These ciders were really tasty, and I can't wait to do another cider show because, I mean, in the scheme of things, I think we just barely scratched the surface of what ciders are available here. So, on that note, we hope you enjoyed this episode, and you can catch all of our episodes online, as well as on SoundCloud, TuneIn, Stitcher, YouTube, PRX, and Spreaker, our native media hosts. iTunes and our own Android app are the easiest ways to enjoy the show on your phone. Just search Sip Suds Smokes on iTunes or in the Google Play Store.
We love your feedback, and you can reach us online at info@sipsudsandsmokes.com.
And our daily tasting notes, not toasting notes, flow out on Twitter every day at Sip Suds Smoke, and our Facebook page is always buzzing with lots of news.
Do us a favor and take the time to rate this episode if you're listening to us online. That's a big help to us, and we get to see your feedback as well.
I want to thank all of our co-hosts today, new and those of us that have been here for a while. I am good old gal Julieanna, and Dave, thanks for joining us today.
Hey, you made me be here, so thank you.
Well, there's that. Good old boy Jason.
Thank you for having me again.
And good old boy Sparky.
Great to be here. Thanks.
Yay! All right. Well, everyone, just keep on sipping, whether it's beer or cider, and we'll see you soon.
This has been a One Tan Hand production of Sip Suds and Smokes, a program devoted to the appreciation of some of the finer slices of life. From the Dude in the Basement Studios, your hosts, the Good Old Boys, will see you all next time.